good, honestly. We'll have to see if that's going to be possible, honestly. Top Esports starting things off, banning away Zeka. We talked about Zeka being the real standout on the side of Vici, with the LeBlanc banned away, Syndra being banned as well by Vici, obviously. We're going to see what Zeka can do here, because LeBlanc comfortably is most played.
Yeah, LeBlanc is going to be taken off the board. We saw the Galio was banned away as well, so may not be going towards a similar style here, but the last game, but there's a Twist of Fate gone, Volibear banned away, and then when we look over, okay, Karsa not wanting to give Ike's his true and trusted Nidalee.
Oh, Karsa's giggling as well, because we see Nidalee banned on the red side a lot of the time. Definitely first pickable. It's a jungler that can completely take over the game.
And I want to see now what Vici decide to go for here, because, look, if you're going to give Karsa this pick, the best way to try and play against Nidalee is to have strong lanes for yourself, particularly in top and in mid, so that then you can try and stop Nidalee from going for these invades. But let's see if Vici will be able to control this narrative.
Now, Dagda, in the last Champion Select, I saw this, I was like, hey, iBoy's really good at Kalista. And then I watched him die 10 times in a row, and
have you changed your mind? Are you still
basically was brought to tears. I'm hoping that was just a matter of matchup. It was a matter of extra circumstances or something. This time it's going to be a Sett coming through for Maestro alongside the Kalista in the bottom lane. Or at least I assume it's in the bottom lane. Could be a flex still.
Yeah, there's still a lot of flexibility here. We can see it. More than likely not go towards Ike's, but definitely towards Zeka in that mid lane. He has been very proficient on this pick and like to go for this overly aggressive early game comp where you can go for super heavy dives, but you're starting to see maybe that's not what they want to go towards. As Top Esports have already got a very nice setup for anything that wants to go super dive heavy. You're able to play at range with the Nidalee, with this Varus as well, which will be the on-hit one. Don't forget, we are in 10-14. Nerfs have come through. But the Varus works super well against dive because, hey, if you're all going to jump on top of us, I've got Chains of Corruption. They're going to spread to several members, and it's going to look so damn good for Top Esports.
And obviously this Varus as well, very similar stylistically to the Ashe. Like, you very much want to use that ult in a utility fashion to be the engage or be the kind of peel for yourself during these fights and be able to just pop off while everyone's rooted up. It's going to be the Renekton locked in here for 369, and immediately the answer comes through from Cube in the form of a Kennen.
And this was the pick that we saw Cube pop off against Zoom on JDG. He looked so damn good into this exact matchup, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against 369, the best top laner that we have in the LPL right.
Yeah, and a lot of it was down to when we got to the team fights. He looked amazing, getting Slice and Maelstrom across the entire team, setting the rest of his squad up to find opportunities in these fights. Now, as we move to the second ban phase, both teams focusing on the mid lane. Orianna taken off the board, but Zeka's Galio removed as well.
Yeah, and this is what they comboed that Kennen pick with against JDG, was Zeka having these magnificent ultimates on top of the Maelstrom. But we won't be seeing that this time around, so still potential for that Sett to go in towards Zeka. We could see the support counter pick come in for Vici, but I want to see them at least hang on to that Sett and keep that flexibility in the draft here.
Tahm Kench being banned away as well. This is or at least was back in spring, a very common pairing to go with the Varus, especially when it was on hit, giving him a lot of protection in the laning phase. So a nice little ban there from Vici, and now over towards Top Esports.
You can still go towards something like the Thresh here if you want to try and keep Varus safe. You still got the reposition tool and the likes of the Lantern and stuff. So it's not like they are away from options in that bottom lane here for Top Esports. But I think as well, I'd actually like to see them go towards something like the Braum. I think having that disengage, or at least to a certain extent, that ability to kite back when you're looking at the Sett jumping in, Kennen trying to find these flanks, and Kalista, who's very short range and can be very massively disrupted by that Glacial Fissure, I think it could be a great pick for Top Esports.
See what Top Esports are going to go for in that second round of the draft, but here we're looking towards the jungle. Graves making it a long way through this draft, considering how high ban rate he's been across the course of summer here in 10.14. He's kind of reduced in priority a little bit. Ike's going to be grabbing that, which means this Sett is almost definitely going down to that bottom lane. But it could still be Zeka in the mid lane taking it.
Yeah, that's why I like what Vici have done here with going towards the Graves, or at least their jungler. They can still keep themselves with this Sett flexibility, so you don't actually know for certain where that Sett is going to go towards. And now they have the opportunity to either counterpick the mid lane or counterpick that support, so it looks great for them. The matchup when you look at that jungle, though, is very much we are both going to be clearing like crazy. You've got super fast farmers on both sides. Although you will have to see how these lane matchups can influence that, because if you've got, obviously, well, that top lane matchup going the way of the...
Hang on a second, because you mentioned in that top lane matchup, we could have a Renekton mid here. We might just have 369 on the Jayce. It could still be Knight on the Jayce either. It's a long while, though, since we saw Jayce mid. I'm expecting the Jayce to go top.
It does mean, though, when we look at top esports here, that like that Renekton is kind of a no factor for the rest of their composition, because you got a lot of like poke coming through with Nidalee, with Jayce, with Varus, and even though he did get the nerfs towards his Q, he can still provide a decent amount. And then this Renekton is kind of like in no man's land of, well, I kind of just become a beefcake in the later point of the game, but I'm not going to be able to do a massive amount unless we have the likes of this Sett, this Kennen, and everything else jumping in on top of us. But it looks like Zeka on this last rotation has realized, look, I want to get some poke back for ourselves as well. And with this Zoe, we can try and answer for some of the poke that's coming in from top esports side.
With the amount of poke that is here for top esports, it's possible that this is still Lethality Varus, despite the nerfs. I mean, we'll have to wait and see once we get into game and we can see the runes if the Comet is there. But I don't know, with the composition that's been drafted, it's not exactly standard front to back. We'll have to wait and see as we get into this one. Zeka goes with the Zoe, which is something he's played a few times before in the past, something he's looked particularly good on as well. So I'm excited to see Zeka with a comfort pick here, something that he can really impact the game on as well, because the Ziggs felt a little bit too passive. He's going to have a little bit more agency in the mid lane.
Yeah, and he can set up reasonably well for some of these plays towards the mid lane as well, alongside Ike's, because one of the things is that, of course, you do have the CC on the Zoe, so you can try and land that trouble bubble and set up them for the Graves coming in on top of everything else. So we'll have to see if they can try and make a play at least around this mid lane, but do have to be careful still of Karsa on the opposite side with the Nidalee, who can try and interact, but the counter gank potential coming through from top esports is a lot higher, so they'll be waiting to try and answer for any of these plays that Ike's is making towards that mid lane.
So we've got this somewhat poke composition coming out from top esports up against this somewhat team fight slash poke slash pick composition coming out from Vici. Honestly, these compositions are not very black and white in my eyes, not very clear cut, but you know what, Dagda? I'm willing to come along for the ride anyway and discover what's ahead of us.
Well, look, you've hit the nail on the head there. Top esports are definitely...
I named about 7 styles of
Yeah, I know. Top esports is definitely this poke style. They are looking to do a lot of damage with Nidalee, a lot of damage with the Jayce. Same.
It is lethality.
It is the lethality Varus as well. So we're definitely going to be looking at a lot
Vici
more.
can't believe it either. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are aware what... Like, pause for a second here, guys. Time out. You guys know it's 10-14, right? You know he's been nerfed.
Yeah, so for anyone who wasn't aware, Varus did get nerfed to his Q. The piercing arrows maximum bonus damage ratio went from 150% total attack damage, where it now scales as you go up, so 125 all the way up to 145%. So he got quite like a 5% nerf is quite a substantial amount when it came towards his poke, and as well then his hail of arrows got a slight nerf as well. So that's where we're kind of like, okay, Varus, we're not going to see this poke style. We might see a bit of on hit, but look, his wave clear is still great. The poke is still there. So at least when you are doubling down very heavily on this poke-orientated composition, he still makes the most sense as an AD carry.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing about those nerfs is the fact that at max rank, the nerf is not that significant, but by the time you're at max rank, Varus is already kind of starting to fall off at that point. It's the early ranks on the Q and the E that the damage has really been taken out of. And that is when Varus is really trying to build a lead. It's that first item, it's the maybe second item as well, where you're trying to snowball off this lethality Varus. So I'm really curious. Let's just bear in mind, though, quite how broken lethality Varus was. Like, 2 Qs basically wins the game if you've got a couple of kills in the early game. So I'm willing to believe that it's still really strong, and if there's a team that can pull it off, it's probably top esports, right?
Well, the thing is, they are looking, as we said, very heavily into the words this poke. So as top esports, they're trying to avoid the engage from Vici. And what Vici are looking to do is have this massive engage, more than likely through flanks, because otherwise I don't really see a way for Vici to just try and run on top of top esports, but get him a cube, get him with Maestro, slam dunk into this Maelstrom and look absolutely amazing. You got iBoy then, who can be the short-range AD carry, who needs to try and follow up on this big engage. But if top esports are able to keep Vici at range, Vici are really going to struggle because even though they do have Zeka who fits into this mid-game orientated team comp that Vici are going for, hasn't got the poke to answer back for the 3 different poke champions that Top Esports have gone for.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult composition to engage onto from Top Esports. And as you rightly say, it's about trying to catch someone out, right? It's about trying to find an opportunity to get into that fight. And a lot of pressure is actually going to be on 369 in this game, because once again, we're going to see this kind of LPL Renekton priority that we don't often see in other regions. We've just got a bit of a battle between the top laners here. 369 actually going fairly even.
And I want to remind people that's what 369's specialty is on this Renekton. If you cast your minds back, Khan tried to take the Queen in against his Renekton.
Hang on, we ain't got time because JackeyLove's in trouble already. The Rend not got enough stacks, and iBoy's not going to be able to finish the kill. I feel like he could have flashed for that one. I feel like they could have gone for that, but not going to pull the trigger in the end.
No, but they can still make these plays happen. I mean, you can look at Maestro having that Hex Flash available, so he can still make these big plays, but already this bottom lane from Top Esports is struggling against Maestro.
This is good to see a little bit more aggression here. Stun comes out onto yuyanjia, but they don't quite have the damage, and now Karsa's here. Suddenly it's 2v3, and suddenly first blood goes to lethality Varus. That ain't good for Vici. Now we've got the jungler arriving. Karsa has to flash away. There's a lot of Ren stacked up, and there's the E from iBoy to finish it off. yuyanjia with a very nice play there. Ike's underneath the tower. JackeyLove barely surviving this one. Ike's is desperate to get in there. Pierce doesn't quite land, but JackeyLove still goes down. yuyanjia the only one to survive.
But Vici have managed to shove in this wave, so as JackeyLove, you're losing so much CS, although you'll get the TP to come back in. But Vici have managed to pick up 2 kills for themselves, one onto iBoy and one onto Ike's. And when you're looking at, okay, Vici want to get iBoy in control of this lane, having a kill answered back for the kill that went to JackeyLove is fantastic, but Ike's getting a kill of his own means that he can quickly clear through his jungle now, have a massive advantage when it comes through his first back and his first itemization in this matchup against Karsa.
This is really difficult in the bottom lane though now, because we were talking about the lane state there. JackeyLove gets to freeze that for basically as long as he wants. He's already got 2 long swords. This is going to become very difficult for iBoy and Maestro to even try and farm in that bottom lane.
It won't be too much of an issue. You can still push that wave relatively effectively as Sett because you do have the Haymaker there, so you can shove these waves in. You've got the Pierce as well that can, if you've set up the wave correctly, shove through some of them. So I think they'll still be able to break it eventually, and especially as you know that Karsa will be entering towards this top side, they can actually play pretty aggressively on the bottom end of things as well. But it looks like anyway that freeze isn't quite working out for JackeyLove, so it's actually going to be pushing slightly out against iBoy and Maestro.
We saw a very nice little trade there from Cube a moment ago. He was able to get the stun with his E as 369 goes in. But important to mention, 369 is up in farm right now. 369 is winning this matchup. That's not meant to be how it goes.
Well, the wave is still pushing in on that top end for Cube, so he'll answer for that as that wave collapses. But this is great from Ike's in the mid lane. Zeka had the push in mid against Knight. Ike's does get the Raptors and now goes for the gank.
Nice little bait from Zeka there with the barrier. But Knight is going to be safe enough, so doesn't have to worry too much about this one.
This is what I wanted to see from Ike's, though, was punishing Karsa for being behind in this jungle clear. You can see level 4 to level 5. He picks up the Raptors because he knows he can fight against Karsa right now, but here's a play on the bottom side.
Going to find himself a death sentence here. The spear does so much there. It's not going to be enough to find a kill, but hey, Maestro knows he can't mess about anymore.
Yeah, near max range is definitely going to hurt on these Nidalee javelin tosses, but it does mean that, look, Karsa has once again shown in this bottom lane he hasn't got anything for himself off of this play, so instead you're looking at Ike's, who is quickly clearing out through his own jungle, and can actually look to potentially make a play on this top side as Cube has held this wave just in front of his tower.
And you're going to be able to see JackeyLove just layering the poke down onto iBoy as he tries to farm it. Maestro not going to find his way in there. Facebreaker just kind of a little bit shy of JackeyLove. And with the long swords in his pocket, JackeyLove is going to be able to just hammer away and give these guys hell in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he just wants to try and abuse that range advantage. You can see it already. That it is opening up a little bit of a CS lead. It's still, even with this minion wave, iBoy will still have a slight advantage, but when they bounce this wave, I want to see what Ike's is able to do, because he's definitely looking for this dragon on the bottom side ASAP.
I'm really excited to see what Knight is going to do this game as well, because it's a long while since we saw any mid lane Jayce. He's kind of an old school pick, and it's something that when the right player has their hands on it, they can do some serious work. Karsa, though.
And Knight are making their way up towards this top side. Cube's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, the spear hits. Of course it does. It's Karsa throwing it. And now straight underneath the tower. Slicing Maelstrom immediately, but that ain't going to do nothing.
And Knight finds the perfect timing to make this roam up topside with Karsa. And Karsa knew the second he saw those Krugs were clear, is like, all right, Ikes isn't here. We're going to go make this play. And 369 already setting himself up beautifully. Merc thread's now completed as well. Means that, look, he can take these stuns. He can tank up the tower because he's able to get out lickety-split.
Lickety-split indeed, and Karsa going to be able to grab himself a red buff on top of everything. 369 is now proxy farming. In the meantime, Vici want to make a play elsewhere on the map. yuyanjia. He knows he's the target, but with Aftershock, he's not going to take all too much damage. 369 using the Dominus, wanting to go back in on Cube here and somehow winning these trades because Karsa is back once again. No way do they repeat dive him here.
Zeka has teleport, though. He's about to back pick up a bunch of mana, but it might be too late.
Karsa cannot miss these spears. One more jump and he's going to take yet another kill. 369 gets out. Zeka wants to chase this one down. Trouble Bubble is everything here, but Zeka is not going to follow it. And Top Esports, they are bullying Cube in the top side.
Zeka waited too long. He wanted to back to get some mana to make this play, but it ends up going through before he can get there. Maestro.
More action in the bottom lane as well. They're going straight down onto yuyanjia, stacked up and taken down. iBoy with the kill, but it's answered. JackeyLove, he's got a serrated Dirk, and he knows how to use it.
Yeah, and he damn well hurts as well. So Top Esports able to turn that back around. Support for support, but still the aggression in this bottom lane is what I love to see. Ooh, Jackie.
Yeah, iBoy can go very aggressive if he finds the right opportunity, if he's got Halo Blades up. Bear in mind his Cutlass is on cooldown, which is a minor issue for him, but if he gets the all-in potential, which he might just get now, forces the flash out of JackeyLove.
Good to see iBoy, though, having the aggressive foot forward in this lane. Want to see the Kalista punishing. We want to see him getting back. And when there's no supports involved, that's when iBoy can make these plays against JackeyLove. However, Maestro has made his way back in towards this bottom side river. He wants to go towards Knight in this mid lane.
Well, let's bear in mind, he's got that Hex Flash. He's got himself a Nimbus Cloak as well. So he can make that play suddenly appear out of nowhere. They'd love to set Zeka up with a kill or two in the mid lane, but it's been a little bit difficult for them to find that. It's Top Esports now. They're looking to start the Herald. Yeah,
that was where the play was trying to a little bit work out, was Maestro moving in towards this mid, see if he can get something as he transitions up towards this Rift Herald. But to be honest, Top Esports, they're in control right now. Cube has to deal with this wave on the top side of the map. Knight as well has got the mid lane shoved in, so Top are just going to go and take this Rift Herald while Vici are dealing with their lanes.
And I love how we come into this series saying how, for both sides, the bottom lane has been the weakness in this series, or on these teams historically. When it comes to the laning phase, at very least, iBoy wants to make a play, though. JackeyLove knocked up, but he's going to be fine for now. Ikes comes in, though, and that's the damage they needed. yuyanjia falls too. And Vici with a beautifully executed dive.
Fantastic dive, and they should be able to get some of these turret plates, but might see Karsa moving up onto this top side to see if he can answer for a few of his own, but putting all that gold into the Renekton may not be the best call, but they need to try and make an answer at some stage here.
Yeah, and I want to clarify something we've been saying, that, you know, Top Esports, the weakness has been this bottom lane. Obviously, JackeyLove is an exceptional player. It's just been laning phase where Top Esports have been able to be punished. And we can see a dive coming out there, which is working very nicely for Vici, but it's answered with a Herald in the top lane now for Top Esports. So when you look at the gold, it is still very much in favor of Top Esports. They're the ones in charge of this game right now.
And it's pretty much in that mid lane where a lot of that gold is coming from, because you look at the advantage that Knight has managed to build for himself when it comes to him being able to control Zeke in this lane, even as you can see moving in to steal away some of these Raptors. So trying to fight back against Ikes making these plays on the bottom side, and Knight on this Jayce will be able to poke so obscenely hard against the likes of Vici, because they don't really have a true tank on Vici's side. They don't really have any ways of healing back up apart from, you know, the passive on Maestro. So whatever hits is going to stick, and Vici are going to struggle if they can't find these perfect flanks to get on towards top and close that distance.
One thing I will say for Vici, though, is this time around, once again, they've got the Kalista, but this time, Kalista has a lead. iBoy has yet to die in this game. iBoy's already got Blade of the Rune King. So yes, JackeyLove is going to be strong. Yes, that's a lot of damage coming out from the poke. But when Vici do find these all-in opportunities, iBoy's going to go huge. It's going to be Cube that's in trouble for now, though. Dominus popped by 369, but Cube, he suspected something was going on.
Yeah, I had a feeling that there was something happening. Gets that ward down just in time to spot out the play. And we'll see still Karsa, though, playing pretty heavily towards his top side, helping out 369. And it's surprising to see how much is invested into 369, because he's the one that we talked about who's not actually going to be able to do a huge amount in these fights. It is going to be Top Esports trying to play back, play afar, and 369 only comes into play when Vici have got on towards Top Esports. But that's the last thing that Top Esports want. So at least Karsa is having some pressure in this top side that he can get some gold funneled into himself, but he needs to now start getting Knight and JackeyLove ahead as well.
Yeah, I do feel like the goal maybe, though, for Top Esports is just never fight, right? Never go for the 5v5, because you've got all this poke, you have the ability to side lane here, whereas Vici, if they can groove, they are so much stronger in that straight-up 5v5. So maybe Top Esports just recognizing that and saying, hey, let's just make Renekton incredibly strong as a solo laner instead.
Fantastic play from Top Esports there, even to just secure that dragon so fast that Vici couldn't deal with it. Vici a little bit slow in the resets. As you can see, they didn't actually really want to commit too heavily with Cube. Now only backing to get that Hextech Proto Belt. So they wanted to at least wait until this next dragon where Vici are going to fight, because you got the Blade of the Rune King, you're going to have that Luden's Echo available for Zeka, and also at least the Zhonya's Hourglass to help out against some of the AD poke that's coming through from Knight and JackeyLove.
Oh,
but Zeka,
look at the long-range damage that can come out from Top Esports. Trouble Bubble will deter a lot of this play, and thank God for that blast code, because Zeka wouldn't have survived another spear there. But this is the potential plays. Oh no, Karsa's got a ward in the brush here. He's going to go for Zeka. Spear goes in goes with the execute. Just annihilates him in his own jungle.
It's sad to see, but Karsa has been controlling this top half of the map. You need to expect that they have vision control. Now Knight,
Maestro, he's going to go for the showstopper underneath the tower. Knight's the one in trouble. And maybe that was a little overzealous from Knight, because you're not really the champion that's meant to die.
Welcome back to Vici, though, Maestro. That was damn clean onto Knight. Even with the knockback, able to get that face breaker to pull him in, flash over, get the plays. That was beautiful.
iBoy, this is not where you want to be right now. Stacking up the Rens, won't be able to get the thing, but now yuyanjia comes in with a hook straight on towards Ike's. Forget iBoy, they'll just take the jungler instead. Fate's Call isn't going to find any knockups, and Maestro suddenly in the wrong spot. Karsa's going to find the pounce, annihilates iBoy, and suddenly Zeka, he's arrived, but he's way too late to the play. JackeyLove, whoa! Wrong way, mate! That's not the blast cone you want.
Oh god, it's all gone wrong for Vici. They were like, okay, we can make the pick, we can make the play, and it all just went disastrously. They weren't, like, Cube was miles away from the play. Zeka was still trying to catch up to the play, and you end up with Top Esports collapsing so quickly that now they get the kills. Knight is going to get some nice pressure onto this mid lane turret as well, and that gold lead now is opening up massively for Top Esports.
It's feeling pretty good for Top Esports right now, not just in this game, in the whole series. 4,000 gold lead for them now. Drake going to be spawning in 2.5 minutes, but that Herald is going to be the next objective.
Well, we talked about Ike's having the advantage when it came to jungle off these early plays. Well, after this play, Karsa's got so much back. He's now sitting on 4 kills because he gets this kill here, and then they're able to pick up so much more as well as this goes on. Karsa gets onto iBoy, with Maestro goes down. Like, I don't know what Vici were thinking.
Once again, yuyanjia, clear MVP of that fight. Perfect hook, perfect flay coming in, but also gets the Lantern out to dodge away from the Fate's Call. Knight now in a 1v2 though. Knocks away Maestro, will be pulled back in, but he had the cleanse, and there's yet another Lantern. yuyanjia coming in clutch once again.
But it's his pick. This is yuyanjia's Thresh. This is what he loved playing on Top Esports. And when we started to see him have these confident performances, once again, coming in clutch. Now though, Vici are starting up this Rift Herald, but Top Esports, they're happy for you to be in the pit. Top Esports want to come second so that then they can start to get this poke down, but a little bit wary as 369 is putting pressure on this bottom side. They don't want to actually TP in for this play. They're happy to just have these waves shove out.
Good effort there from Karsa, but I think Top Esports basically saying, look, we're going to get a tower anyway, which is all you're going to get out of the Herald. And on top of that, if there's one way we can lose this game, it is a straight-up 5v5. So let's just play this one a little bit slow, try and find opportunities to get these picks and get this poke.
Also, this composition, the Top Esports is...
Ike's wants to recall Death Sentence. I'll get a little too excited there.
So this comp, the Top Esports are relying...
No.
Oh, iBoy!
iBoy, this is not the place to be. Flashes away, gets himself to safety here. But the poke just going to continue here. It's a tower. That's 2 towers now traded for the Herald.
I want to give it a second before I make my statement to make sure we're officially done here. But yeah, the composition from Top Esports. What is with this?
Hang on, that's going to be a trouble bubble,
Okay.
but might just blocks it. Continue, Doctor. Give me a statement.
Top Esports want to use a tempo advantage to force these opportunities where I'm giving up on this. Okay.
He's gone. He's gone. Keep going.
So then
just
they can
ignore it and I'll shout over you if it really kicks off.
So basically Top Esports want to try and have a tempo advantage so they can use this poke composition to catch out when it comes towards numbers, but also if they can maybe move towards these objectives faster. So having these side lanes down works really well for them, so then they can push out these side lanes, force Vici to deal with these while they're able to set up with vision and everything else, like we're seeing right now, around these objectives. Because the worst thing Top Esports can do is get caught out.
No, Ike's is caught on a Blasco, chased across the map. Does get away with his collateral damage. That spear would have finished him if it had hit. And now, Top Esports, they can just sit at this dragon and just throw poke after poke after poke at Vici. There's no way to get in here and contest.
No, especially when they're on red side here. Trying to funnel into this dragon area is pretty much suicide, but 369 will be able to escape away. No, it's just a cycle through. He does have the unsealed spell book, so Cube's trying to cycle through his spells there, but still, you can see, look, okay, they get the pressure down on bottom side. iBoy also has to deal with the wave that's pushing in top side. That's the tempo advantage we were talking about that Top Esports are looking to exploit so they can get to these objectives, get the vision control down, start getting their poke and making sure that there's no pesky flank wards for Cube or for either Maestro even to try and get into a better position in behind enemy lines and get onto Top Esports.
So much pressure going to be on Maestro to try and find these engages, find these opportunities. We already saw him get one opportunity onto Knight in the mid lane when Knight overstepped to try and make a play onto the enemy support. But Maestro's showing that he can step up, that he can make an impact here. And let's bear in mind, iBoy and Maestro have a lot of the win conditions on their shoulder here, because that Fate's Call can be so crucial in closing the gap for Sett.
So let's take stock of where we are right now. Because we talked about, look, when we get towards these next couple of dragons, we really want to see Vici hammer down that they are trying to fight. But because they've been forced back and they haven't quite been able to get their lane assignments quite right, you can actually see a pretty massive CS advantage open up in the mid lane. So Zeka is not at the point where he would like to be when it comes towards damage. You can see not able to even fight against Knight, who's clearing out this top side wave. So even when we look towards the team fighting prowess that we're talking about for Vici, because there's just a 6,000 gold lead on Top Esports, that team fight isn't looking quite as strong as we would like, especially against the poke that Top Esports has.
Yeah, that's the thing, is everything has to land onto pretty much everyone for you to win that fight, and there's a lot of damage coming out from Top Esports. Not to mention the fact that Varus Ultimate really ruins what Vici want to do. They want to run in and get on top of everyone. JackeyLove can just stop that entire play in its tracks.
And even if you manage to find a route in, well, look at the itemization. yuyanjia's gone for the Shrelia's Reverie. He's able to help everyone piece out of here, so then Vici can actually close the gap. And although Maestro's going for the Dead Man's Plate, which means that he can speed up and try and close that gap, it's still super difficult to do, as you said. JackeyLove Chains of Corruption, the Shrelia's, even the speed up from the acceleration gate from Knight, the speed and fast potential, I suppose, of Top Esports is really hard for Vici to deal with.
The speed potential.
Yeah, the sonicness of this team.
Yeah, their sonic levels are significantly higher.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Vici, it's a bit more of an Eggman kind of composition.
Yeah.
Whereas we're definitely on a sonic side for Top Esports. When you think of IG, much more of a Knuckles kind of team. But we've kind of slowed down a little bit here, Dagda, which is not what you want to do if you're playing Sonic, that's for sure. But the gold lead very heavily in favor of Top Esports. The Colonel is liking what he sees here, because we're basically 7,000 in favor of Top. They haven't lost a single tower yet this game. The only objective that they've lost is that one Herald that did basically nothing and an Infernal Drake. So they're feeling pretty good about the way this game is going. And they could just keep this up all day now. The siege potential out of a poke composition is just disgusting.
And you're seeing it right now. I mean, it's not only the siege potential, it's how much control Top Esports have of the jungle. It's really difficult for
That's the jungler.
For Zeka to spot out, or Vici to spot out even where Top Esports are moving to, and they're just running them across the map.
iBoy looking like he wants to make a play, but I don't know if you want to start that fight. Zeka is just getting bullied out. And what do you even do? What can Vici do here? This looks impossible.
And that's why we're seeing Maestro, though, on this big flank. He's trying to get in onto the back line alongside Cube, but there's the ward there for them to get in. They just need to have that moment to pull the trigger.
Maestro looking for exactly that moment right now, trying to get onto yuyanjia. In fact, someone else that he pulls in. JackeyLove flashes over the wall to safety, but there's the flashes to follow as well. Cube trying to get the stuns onto Karsa here, but yuyanjia has arrived to save the day. Knockups here, Karsa goes down. This is the fight that Vici needed. They're turning things around, but 369 Dominus in the middle of everybody. Kuldameek isn't going to be used in time, and iBoy gets yet another one. That's 3 kills for nothing for Vici.
And Top Esports didn't have any control of that top side. Vici find the gap in vision, and they exploit it beautifully. Maestro with the flash in sets up the play, and they can turn towards Baron.
This could be the opportunity for Vici, but Knight has the power to ruin this. He's on Jayce, so the poke damage is absolutely insane. Cube wants to close the gap. Won't find the opportunity. No! Knight finds one off the back of the play, and he's not even done just yet. Flashes in on towards Cube here. Thunder and Blow as Ike's moves into the play as well. Knight doesn't have the damage. The stun there from the Kennen. He bit off a little more than he could chew.
It doesn't matter. He's done his job. All they wanted to do was stop the Baron from Vici, because what we talked about was Top Esports relying on tempo to set up for these plays. Baron just gives full control to Vici, so stopping that was beautiful from Knight. However, the beauty from Maestro right here to set up this play, kill JackeyLove. Cube gets straight onto Karsa. And we talked about 369 being enabled when Vici all jump in. Problem is, he was out in bottom lane. He's not here for when this fight kicks off, and it's a fantastic play from Vici to shut down the play from Top Esports.
Beautifully done here by Vici. And I mean, you're right. Knight did stop the Baron, but I feel like he had stopped the Baron when he got the kill on Zeka. I don't think that he needed to flash then and try 100 to 0 Q before Ike's could respond. I think that was a little overkill.
You have a point. But this is Knight. He likes to be a bit flashy.
This is about the one opportunity I'm going to get to criticize Knight for the rest of the year. So I'm going to take it while I can, because the guy makes so few mistakes.
Oh, you're so negative. Come on.
What can I say? I didn't have any Weetabix this morning, so I'm in a bad mood. Hang on, we've got Maestro. He's got yet another flank here. Chain of Corruption goes wide. It's going to be the showstopper. It's only onto yuyanjia this time, though. And JackeyLove over the wall here. Cube's behind, slicing Maelstrom onto the whole team. Vici might just be doing it if they can follow this one up. Maestro goes back into the play as well. Double kill for iBoy as he finds yet another one. Knight chased out of the play here. iBoy just needs the rend, but he can't get it. There's a shot coming out from Knight. 369 in the back of the play, trying to turn things around here. Knight needs a shock blast onto Zeka. Oh, the flash from the Spell Thief. Somehow they get away with it.
God, I love watching LPL fights. The mechanics on display here, but Knight doesn't know where Ike's is.
He ain't done just yet, but Ike's has a lot of damage here. End of the line against the wall, and Ike's finishes off the ace.
And this is why Vici have been on the tips of our tongues since they played against JDG. They have found these opportunities to fight back against the top teams in the LPL. And once again, it's Maestro and Cube with these fantastic flanks against Top Esports. We can see it here, JackeyLove. A very early Chains of Corruption means that Maestro's free to go for this play. Great pick onto Karsa. yuyanjia goes golden, but it doesn't matter. It's all a bait. It's all a ruse as Cube gets into the back line and rips through Top Esports.
Honestly, how the hell was Maestro not on this roster already? He's looking incredible this game on this set. 369 gets a medal for the attempt here at the end, but ultimately, so beautifully done here by Vici.
And this is the experience that Maestro brings to this roster. He's been with Vici for so long, and although Hung has looked great as the rookie for this split, Maestro here is showing that experience.
He's not done just yet, but JackeyLove has a dark passage, so they will get away with things. Maestro really wanted to commit to that. He was sticking around there, but has to back away in the end. So now, Baron's on the map. Dragon's not up for another 2.5 minutes here. And Vici, what can they do to try and replicate this success?
At the moment, it's very much about trying to get these waves in order, trying to make sure that as Top Esports, that they are the ones coming in blind. So you can have these moments where Maestro can find these flanks. Cube as well, who has the Ghost and nearly has the flash up, can look to try and get in on top of Top Esports. But at the moment, you can see 369 pushing in this bottom wave, forcing Cube onto this bottom side.
Uh-oh. Maestro, you may have looked good this game, but you don't win that fight by yourself. But that's okay, because you got your whole team here, apparently. Karsa is going to be on 1 HP, somehow gets away on a dark passage. Yuyanjia once again.
That was by the skin of his teeth. I wasn't even sure if the burn from that challenging smite was going to be enough to just kill him, but the shield and just about eking away from the burst damage from Ike's. Now though, Top Esports want to try and crack open this turret. Vici are scattered to the wings, so they're not ready to try and go against it.
Karsa's back on full health because he's Nidalee and he's gotten Athene's Unholy Grail, so the healing is insane. He's kept himself alive here. iBoy threatening the all-in, threatening the play. It's going to force Top Esports back. Baron's still available.
Look, Top Esports will get the tower. Kind of a gimme. It was so low. But look at Cube. He's trying to get this wave in the bottom side pushed out. The wave in the top side will be dealt with by Zeka now. And Top Esports can't turn towards this Baron quite yet. So Vici at least will hold on to the main structures in their base.
So let's just quickly revisit iBoy for a second here, because as you can see on your screen, he's got a pretty hefty gold lead for himself, but he's also at probably the strongest he's going to be all game now on the Kalista. But look at that scoreline. This is why I was hyped for the iBoy Kalista when we saw it in Champ Select in Game 1.
Well, we're going to have to look at, again, this team fight about to kick off, because we got 50 seconds until that dragon is about to start. You have both sides resetting now and moving in towards this river area. This is where, with no real vision for Top Esports, you can have Maestro and Cube sneak in past the vision control of Top and make the plays for Vici. Top, though, taking this nice and slow, not giving the opportunity for Vici to get in, but Maestro will be spotted.
Secret Agent Maestro on another mission here. The Blastco not going to be used. 369, he's not quick enough. The Dead Man's Plate doing so much work here for Maestro.
Boots of Swiftness as well coming in clutch there. If that was Moby Boots, that would have been a dead Maestro, but still managing to escape. Now though, Zeka still looking to try and put some poke onto Top, but as Top now, this is where they're okay. They know they've got vision control behind them. 369 is keeping Maestro out, and they are free to open up with all this poke. Vici need to try and crack this. They need to find and engage.
369's on the flank, though. This is the perfect fight for him, but actually, maybe not, because Dragon's already gone down, and the rest of Top is not interested in helping right now. Dropped into his GA here, and a trouble bubble is going to be there to ruin his way out. Can Zeka follow it up? The damage is blocked by Knight. Very nicely done there. But ultimately, Vici, they grabbed themselves the Drake.
They got what they came for. They're going to back away. Ike's taking a little bit low, same with Maestro, but Top Esports, they're looking a little bit like maybe they want to keep this play going. You talk about the healing that comes through from Karsa, and you can see the pings are there on towards Baron.
The big issue, though, is they've got a Nidalee Varus.
Yeah.
Nidalee Varus does not do Baron particularly quickly, or particularly at all, to be quite honest. Like, you want the on-hit Varus if you want to be able to rush Baron, so not really a play that Top can just force right now.
I love watching Maestro on this set, though. He is doing his damnedest to sneak in wherever the hell he can and catch out Top Esports. And again, getting this vision down so he can spot more than likely where Top Esports have placed their own vision control and give himself the opportunity to make these plays. And as well, Cube, he does have to heal at the moment. His teleport is up underneath that heal. So these deep flank wards are going to be so big for as Top move in to try and get vision control around this Baron.
Yeah, you can see he's actually just used the heal as well to get himself that teleport available for the play. If Maestro can get a flank, if Cube can get a flank, Vici can find a fight to win this game out. And let's bear in mind, you know, we talk about iBoy falling off a little bit on the Kalista later on into the game, but Nidalee Varus falls off a cliff later on in the game. Same story with Jayce that is building pure lethality right now.
And I want to take a moment to look at that itemization, because iBoy with the dead stance, well, that poke isn't going to do quite as much, and he has an opportunity to heal as he goes as well, which is fantastic for him. You're looking at Zeka, who was really struggling in these early stages, has finally completed his 2 items, but still a little bit weak because he had to go for the Zhonya's Hourglass second, so not quite as much ability power there, or even Magic 10 if you went for something like the Leandries or the Oblivion Orb as well. Although I'd love to see the Morel Nomicon in this game with the amount of healing that Nidalee offers, and the Renekton as well. So Vici at least now are in a position where they're actually looking a lot stronger, and now taking that top turret gives them a better opportunity to get some of this deep vision that Maestro has been looking to get.
I mean, when we revisit the gold lead, Top Esports was so far ahead earlier on in the game. Now it's down to 3,000 or 4,000. So Vici doing a really good job to close that gap and minimize the advantages the Top Esports found for themselves. It was feeling impossible for Vici just a few moments ago.
Cube? Needs to be careful, though.
Cube going to be aggressed upon here by 369. Still has his flash available. He's going to have to use it. Slicing Maelstrom forced out as well. Cube went way too deep onto this one. That's the trouble bubble, but it's too late. JackeyLove with the kill. 369 slices out of the play as well.
So well played by 369 to read Cube. He goes straight over the wall, matching the flash from Cube, and that was a great pick from Top Esports that shuts down all the plays from Vici.
And that is frustrating for Vici fans because that was just a little bit too far out from Cube. He just wanted to get a little bit more. Just wanted to try and get as much as he can. He's going to be punished for it here. Redemption across the team from Vici here. As we've got a teleport coming through from 369, trying to find himself a flank. iBoy exhausted. 369 doesn't commit to the flank just yet as Maestro's got onto Knight, but there's a dark passage to save the day from yuyanjia. Suddenly Vici, they're not quite on the right side of this fight anymore. iBoy dancing forward. Zeka with the damage onto JackeyLove takes him out of the fight immediately. 369 barely dodges the face breaker. And the chase is on. Maestro wants to make this happen as he gets on towards Knight. Thunder and Blow ruins everything though. And Knight doesn't have flash. He's going to go down. Zeka with yet another kill. There's a trouble bubble as Zeka wants this game. He wants this victory. Double comes through and onto the Baron.
That was amazing. Oh, wait, Maestro.
Maestro is not done just yet. Neither is 369 pulling them in. Karsa's on the sidelines as well. But Maestro, he's on Sett, so he's practically invincible. iBoy stacking up the end, and he's going to be able to cut down the croc. Karsa desperate to get away, but he misses the spear.
Oh, no.
Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Kitty can scratch. Zeka wants to finish the job, though. Trouble bubble is not quite going to be able to land. Zeka still gets it somehow.
And now we got the Baron for Vici as well. Vici take down top on what was their play to go towards the big purple worm. And I have got to give all the credit in the world to Maestro. From start to finish, that play was all on him. He looked incredible.
And you know what? Zeka as well, stepping up. We came into this series hyping up Zeka as the guy to watch.
But watch this. Maestro flashes in front of the hook, so takes it in front of iBoy. The Fate's Call resets this fight. And that one play from Maestro gives iBoy the opportunity to still be involved in this play. If Top Esports had managed that, it would have been game over. But with that one setup, then you get Zeka who's able to follow through. Then you can have Maestro with this big showstopper. But we're going again with the steal!
Oh, stolen away by Ike's. Denies the soul, and Ike's wants more on the back of this one as well. Knight's alone in the pit. He's taken down. Vici is snowballing this. They've got themselves tempo advantages, and they know how to abuse them. iBoy stepping so aggressively forward. He wants more kills.
Yeah, yuyanjia does land the hook, but there's no follow-up from 369. He can just group with the rest of Vici, who've got the inside track on mid, but they're looking to make the plays on bot.
Maestro looking for Karsa here. He's pretty lonely, though. The rest of the team not here, but Ike's arrives. Dark Passage is going to be stood on and warded out. Karsa can't get away from this one. Redemption going to come through. But Karsa's still low on this one. Collateral damage to finish the kill. Another one for Vici here. 22-15 on the scoreboard.
Look at the mid lane, though. There's already waves here. There's Baron buff on Vici. They can crack open this mid lane turret. The two big poke tools for Top Esports, Karsa and Knight, are not online right now. But Vici, not wanting to push too far forward, have got the dragon. They got some kills. They're going to back away for a moment. Only a minute and a half left on Baron, though. They're not quite going to be able to crack open any of these structures.
My goodness. Ike's. We haven't really talked about Ike's so far in this game, but he has stepped up as well on this grave. 6-1-7. Finding that steal as well. Denying the soul from Top Esports. When you got things like the Jayce and the Renekton and the Nidalee, Cloud Soul is damn good.
And look at how quickly Vici have now come online. We were saying, hey, look, Zeka's struggling to get past 2 items. He's just finished his Void Staff. Rabadon's going toward, or well, on the way at least with that needlessly large rod picked up. You look towards Cube as well. He's looking stellar. Just the Morellonomicon now going towards a Void Staff of his own. And then you're almost at full items as iBoy. He is massive right now. So overall, Vici are really set to go when it comes towards team fights, and Top Esports, who have lost these last couple of scraps, are now struggling to keep Vici in check.
This is the performance I wanted to see out of Vici, but one thing I will say is this is kind of what we've come to expect from Vici as well, that we have some games that don't look so hot, other games where they look really, really great.
You mean we're expecting a 3-game series from Vici, like their past several
like
series?
Every single series that they have. Yeah, you're absolutely right here. Hang on, JackeyLove going to be able to clear the vision. I thought Maestro was going to maybe look for something, but obviously with Cube in the mid lane here, they need to be a little cautious. And let's not forget here, if top esports find a singular target out of position and everyone hits them, they're going to die.
They 100% will, but look at where 369 is right now. Top esports are looking to, again, spread out this map. Make sure you don't have this big engage tool of Cube on Vici's side, as that poke, as the Vici try to work through these structures, is going to really hurt.
Yeah, one bonus about the poke, by the way, is most of it's AoE. So top esports can clear these waves very effectively.
And that's the problem that I had with that back that we saw coming through from Vici. The Baron was their best way to crack open these structures, but unfortunately, not quite the case. The Chains of Corruption land.
Oh, Ix is going to be pulled in here. This is bad news, but he gets out with his life here. Top esports continue to protect their tower. They're going to force Vici away from the plate in the end. The siege isn't going to pay off. yuyanjia wants to find a hook. He's not going to be able to find his target here. iBoy too easily is able to dance around the play.
369 is going to back away from that top side as well, and Cube has his TP up. 1 minute 30 until our next dragon, which is so point for both sides. And usually Cloud Soul doesn't do a huge amount, but think about what both these teams are trying to do. It is all about movement speed here. Cube trying to close the gap, Maestro trying to close the gap, so a speed boost for Vici is fantastic, and the same on top esports, who are trying to run for the hills.
Yeah, this is one of the more valuable Cloud Souls that I've seen, realistically, which, you know, is not saying that much, because Cloud Soul ain't usually that good. But both these teams want it. Both these teams are going to fight tooth and nail for every single objective the rest of this game. Cube just used his Lightning Surge, but might be in trouble here. Flashes out in the end. Will get away with his own life, but top coming over here. Knight flashes over the wall to try and shut down Cube. There's the kill for 369. The rest of Vici arrive now as they try and answer for the play. Knight is exactly the answer there as JackeyLove has now arrived, but in the meantime, Karsa getting bullied out by Ix. Where's iBoy dancing around the back? You've got to keep your eyes on this Kalista. Karsa trying to get over the wall here. 369 escapes as well. Zeka jumps in, but he doesn't quite have the damage to finish anyone off. The redemption, though, is going to mean that 369 can't quite get away from this one. Trouble Bubble is everything, but 369 away on a lantern once more. The bubble doesn't quite connect. Top esports, how are they getting away with this one? Zeka's the one that's low. My goodness, a 2-for-1 after all of that.
And Karsa can heal everyone back up on top esports side, which means that they can move straight over. iBoy, though, trying to be a one-man army here and defend this Cloud Soul from top esports. Can't go in right now, though, because one Chain of Corruptions or hook from yuyanjia could spell disaster.
Ix is here, but he is damn low, and yuyanjia knows it. The hook is gonna connect. That is beautiful. And now top esports in prime position to grab this dragon. iBoy here to contest.
It's ball time for Cube, though. He has the Maelstrom. He's got the TP. This is the contest.
He's got to get in here. JackeyLove is low. Trouble Bubble going to land onto Karsa here, but he's got himself a stopwatch. Cube trying to get into the play. They'll get one onto Karsa. What more can they find as yuyanjia dodges the paddle star? Trouble Bubble goes wide as well. Zeka not quite able to finish these kills.
They are all so low as well on top esports side, and with Cube TPing in, no Maelstrom, it means that now top esports have bought a little bit of time. They've got the Cloud Soul for themselves, and with Baron still up, no jungler for Vici, it's not like they can, well, they could potentially turn Kalista, yeah.
They can still just go for this one. Also, you got Spellbook on Cube and on Zeka. Maybe there's a smite.
There is a huge amount of poke on top esports side. Knight and JackeyLove are still here. We talked about how squishy Vici are. This would be a disaster if they get poked out.
Ults are on cooldown right now, though, so it's important for Vici not to overcommit to a fight here, especially without that Maelstrom. We do see everyone reset. Tensions go back to neutral once more, and this is far closer than I ever expected. Earlier on in the game, this was all top esports, but Vici giving them a run for their money.
And either way, we've got to look at Vici and go, Coma has whipped these guys into shape. Imagine Vici from Spring turning into a team that is contesting top esports, the best team in the LPL right now at every step of the way. Vici are wasting one more time. Cube has the Maelstrom. Maestro not in a position to flank. They need to get control of this jungle and this river back so Vici can look for the team fight.
I'm going to see what Maestro can do here, because he has been the clear MVP so far for me in this game for Vici. The flanks he's been able to find, and he's going on a journey once again here. He knows there's a minion wave there, And he's just waiting for someone to step a little too far to grab it.
There is no ward here to spot out where 369 is, though. Will now be spotted, but you see top esports, they're trying to keep control of River as Vici are just looking to power through mid.
Maestro is making his way around the backside as well. 369, JackeyLove, yuyanjia. Any target would do if they can burst them.
He hasn't been spotted. He's sitting on these pink wards. Vici, they're looking for the play.
He's very far away from the play, though. And top esports are closing the gap. Maestro, I think you might have gone too far. Nimbus Cloak going to be used as well as Deadman's play. Whew, he gets away with it. In the meantime, what? Karsa and Knight, they're just going to start this one off by themselves. The sentry. Oh, it spotted them out in the end. And that means that the play has to be stopped. Oh, it was a good attempt.
But look where Maestro is. He's still on the flank position here. So top esports need to back away. They need to make sure that... But this is perfect for Vici, because now Vici, that was what they wanted. They wanted control of this river. They wanted to remove this vision where top esports feel like they're safe. So top esports have got to move back. Even you can see 369, he's dealing with this wave on bot side.
I'm going to have a heart condition by the end of this series,
I know.
This is way too intense. This is game number 2 here, and Vici desperate to get every single win that they can. Right now, they're 8th in the standings. If they can make playoffs, it will be their best performance since 2016. Every single win matters for them, and if they could take down top esports, what a statement to make moving towards the final couple of weeks of the LPL Summer Split.
But it does feel very much like that series against JDG, where Vici are on the cusp of taking down some of the best teams in the LPL. They just need to solidify that victory here today. And this game 2 is that first step on that path. But you can see the poke is still trying to come through. Vici are still struggling with it, but Cube, now having that teleport up and available, can deal with 369 on the bot side, but there's no real flank wards for him right now.
Yeah, no flank wards for Cube, because both top laners going to be on the bottom side of the map here. Top esports kind of feigning like they want to commit to the Baron here, but they know they can't really go for it if Vici's around.
They can do this all day. Oh, that's Chains of Corruption's gone, but I mean, you got 3 Cloud Drakes, they'll be up very quickly. But either way, look, top esports, they can heal themselves up. With Karsa, they can do this all the live long day. What they're trying to do is get Vici into a position where they can land all their poke, where Vici are set up in front of them, they know exactly where they are, and especially with Cube stuck on this bottom side, and top esports knowing there's no words behind them, they're happy to keep making this play.
So, while everyone resets, while we've got a minute and a half until Elder Drake, which will inevitably be a big fight, let's revisit the items quickly, because we're getting to max build. iBoy and JackeyLove both have hit full build at this point, which I honestly don't know which way that goes, because we've got Kalista and we've got Lethality Varus. They both don't really scale that well, but you know what?
Look, it's about composition. It's not, the items are all great. They're going to be fantastic, but this is about playing towards the strengths, and that's the poke onto iBoy. Death Stance, though, doing wonders there to keep him alive, and having all this extra lifesteal will mean that iBoy is okay for the moment, but he can't actually turn and help out against top esports.
He's got wolves. He's got wolves to heal off of here. Ike's has been found. yuyanjia trying to keep him in place, but the blast cone there is going to save the day for Vici. And that's a couple of really close calls, but they get away with it each and every time.
Still, though, Vici have nowhere for Cube to try and make these plays. Teleport from 369, though, means that a channel of aggression in that bottom lane from the Renekton has now been ceased.
Hang on.
But the Baron has been started.
Look how fast they are burning through the health bar here. Ike's trying to make his way in. There's a bushwhack in the way. He needs to get vision on the Baron, though, because he might have to steal here. Collateral damage as Maestro went into the pit. 2,000 on the Baron, and everybody peels away from this one. 369 trying to tank as Maestro is alone on the front line, but he survives with the redemption. Baron reset, both teams back away, and the dance continues. Dagda, but Karsa is on a flank. The spear onto Cube does so much work, but they can't quite finish the kill here. Zeka chasing down onto Karsa, flashes into the pit once more. Everybody's still surviving. The poke on both sides. How is this going the way it's going? Is now trying to chase down Cube. He's not going to be able to get onto him.
Elder Dragon's now up, though, so top esports are moving across. Cube has TP and that ultimate still available, so we can still see Vici fight for this. The flash on Cube can be the big difference here in this fight. He can close this gap on the top esports if he can just find the right angle, and it could be through bot lane.
Oh, the hook from yuyanjia. Down goes Ike's. That's the Elder now in favor of top esports, unless some kind of miracle can come through for Vici. They've got to try and make their way into the pit here. The box from yuyanjia to stop everything, but Maestro can't hit the face breaker. iBoy stepping forward. Zeka here as well, as they're desperately trying to force this play. iBoy onto the dragon and forcing 369 out as well. Triple bubble onto yuyanjia. 369 keeps himself alive with Asterix. Knight pushed away on this one. 3,000 on the dragon. There's no jungler here for Vici. His cube gets onto the dragon. It's Zeka that secures it. And iBoy on everyone in the fight here. Zeka desperate to burn through them. And with the Elder, he gets the triple. iBoy finishes the rest.
Zeka, the man we highlighted in the mid lane, the star for Vici, steals the dragon. He sets up the team fight, and top esports are gone from the rift. It's only 369 who's alive.
How have they pulled this one out? This is unbelievable from Vici, and now running down the mid lane. 40-second death timers. It's only 369 to do anything about it.
And there's a heal. There's an exhaust on Zeka. They can still make these plays with the Elder, and they're going for it now.
They've got the Elder. You're absolutely right. 369 slice and dice away from the play. iBoy straight on towards the inhibitor. Still 25 seconds on these death timers.
Yuyanjia's up in 6 though. This is going to be too much. 369.
Oh,
he's trying to get onto iBoy.
It ain't done just yet, and iBoy's the target. 369 has so much damage, but iBoy counting this one out, and he's going to be fine on this one. Redemption can't quite do enough.
They're trying to get over towards Baron. They want to burst down this Baron so that then they can do it before top esports respawn, but they're so
Karsa
close.
isn't up right yet. He's up in 5 seconds time with iBoy here. They should be able to just burn this one down before top can respond in any way. Vici with another advantage. They got themselves the Elder. Now they get the Baron.
This is so well played by Vici. By some miracle, they managed to get this Elder Dragon that you're going to see here. Karsa is trying to keep the distance. Maestro with, again, this massive showstopper to keep Karsa away from smite range. Gives the chance for Vici to steal it away, and then they can win out with that Elder Dragon buff. Maestro, you're on the team. You're the starter. I don't care anymore. Holy God, you've come in and looked amazing.
iBoy as well, 2v1s. In the meantime, you've got Zeka popping Elder on 369 and 2 others as well at the same time. That was an unbelievable fight from Vici. And you know what? This entire split, we've been talking about the potential on the roster. We've been talking about the star power that can exist here. And every so often, we get a game like this where we really see it come through.
And now Vici are in such a good spot. 2 minutes on this Baron buff. The mid lane is cracked open. They can shove in these waves super aggressively and start to put pressure elsewhere. The problem is, though, there's still 2 outer towers still for top esports because Vici just haven't had the control in this game to actually get these towers down.
Yeah, there's a long way to go, honestly, for both teams, because there's only one inhib that's been taken this entire game. We're bordering on the 50-minute mark at this point, Dagda.
Yeah.
Oh my days, the damage onto Zeka. Has a barrier to stop any kind of dots coming through there, but that was way too close for comfort. The cannon should finish off the tower in the end. And once again, Vici getting really lucky to escape with a life there.
But top esports are doing a fantastic job of shutting down these Baron plays, because once again, we had a minute 30 left on that Baron buff. Well, Vici have got to back. Now it's more time to get out onto the map, to get these waves in order. It's top esports thwarting Vici's pressure once again.
And you know what, Dagda? As someone who has nothing that they have to do in this game, that I just get to watch this game, I'm more than happy for the siege to be thwarted, because I want this win to come from a big old team fight. I want this win to come off the back of a brawl.
Well, I mean, we've had some crazy extended brawls in this game, with top esports trying desperately to play at range, jumping, diving, dodging wherever they can to avoid Vici, but somehow, some way, Vici have managed to claw themselves back into this game. Now we're sitting at the 50-minute mark.
Yep.
Vici, wait a second, hang on, cube? No, wasn't going to quite be able to catch him, but still, we're going to see more of these fights, because we haven't really got away for Vici with this Baron buff falling off in just over 15 seconds to actually crack open more of the base of top esports. And now a minute and 50 until that Elder Dragon as well.
Yeah, you got to expect that the play slows down now for a couple of minutes, and we're going to see a bit of a reset. It feels like Vici are the ones in control of the map in general. Oh, trouble bubble there onto Karsa, but he's going to be fine. Knight there to protect him as well. But with the trouble bubble coming in, does mean that this final tier 2 is cracked now. So if Vici can win a fight, that's probably enough towers gone where they can just end the game.
And death timers as well. Like, we're very much approaching the stage where you're looking at 70-second death timers, and that is going to just spell disaster. But if you can have a convincing win, because neither of these scraps have been convincing on either side, with just a few stragglers surviving for Vici. Now, though, a minute on this Elder. Everyone is resetting. We're at full buys across the board.
I was about to point that out. Everyone in the game, except the supports, has 6 items. And you know what? The supports, they don't get 6 items. They got to have some control wards. There's got to be control wards somewhere on the team.
And look at the change from JackeyLove. He's moving away from lethality and actually going to an unhit Varus. So he's trying to get to a stage where he wants to be relevant again.
You know it's a long game when you get to transition your build away from what you have your runes for. Like, he doesn't even have, or I imagine he has Alacrity as his secondary, but honestly, this has gone absolutely nuts. Won't have the tempo, but a Rage Blade will certainly help.
Yeah, I mean, but look, JackeyLove's poke compared to Karsa's is pretty negligible. So even if he doesn't have the lethal tempo to help with the auto attacks, he can still make plays. Top Esports, though, on the top end.
Yeah, they're going for a play onto Cube here. This is exactly what they need to do. The tower is not going to be able to survive, nor get a kill as Cube is cut down in his own base. Vici, they've been outmaneuvered on the map here. Elder now spawning. And the question is, what can Vici do about it? Because Ike's is already low as well. In the meantime, Zeka has recalled to stop this play ending the game. But now Top Esports have got themselves a huge advantage.
Knight can back. He won't be here just as the Elder spawns, as you can see, but still, they can have the man advantage for Top Esports. We talked about 70-second death timers. It's going to be a long time before Cube is here to help.
And this is such a huge play because Top Esports now, oh, hang on. Karsa can't go for it. He doesn't know where everyone is. But that's going to be super minions in the top side of the map with Elder on the map. There's still a death timer on Cube for 30 seconds, and Top Esports have started this one off as 369 continues to pressure in the top side, so Zeka has to match him. Hook onto Maestro. It's pulled out with a Fate's Call, but Ike's is the one that they really want. They just got to shut down this jungler. They've just got to stop him escaping, and they will. Knight with the kill here as 369 gets onto the Dragon instead to make sure it stays aggroed here. Dominus used.
8 seconds on Cube, though. They're trying to buy time, but Top Esports are bursting down the Dragon.
They're trying to buy time, but I don't think they're going to have any. They've run out of time as the Elder goes the way of Top Esports. If this is a 2-0 Dagda, my heart will be broken for Vici. But Maestro and iBoy try to get away. Cleanse comes out from iBoy to keep himself safe from the chain of corruption.
They can still fight this as Vici. We've seen them win these 4 versus 5s. It's all about if Cube can get on top of the members of Top Esports, but the Super Creeps are pushing in the top lane. Top Esports are pushing in the mid lane, and Elder Dragon is still there for Top Esports.
That's the thing. Even in a 5v5, even with the right ults, you're still going up against a squad that has the Elder Dragon buff. Look how much damage Karsa is doing. They're straight onto the base. Top Esports don't care about your team fight power. They're just going to end the game. Maelstrom across the team right now as the Haymaker comes through as well. They're trying to finish off the health bars. iBoy forced away by 369 as he's trying to turn this one around. Karsa with a double kill. The Nexus falls. And Top Esports